you're never gonna have a perfect day. And that's okay. That's fine. I'm telling you this as it's Christmas night. Everyone's asleep, cleaned up a bit, and I feel like there's no better time for me to show you, to be, living proof. While I'm, you know, noted while I'm in my life, I'm still working to become actually the living proof of what I'm about to say. But from everything, I've been through, everything I've dealt with, everything, along those lines. I want to say there's no perfect time other than the time that you create. What I mean by that is you're never just going to be, free hand out the perfect time to do anything. And that principle applies to whatever you may be doing. Getting into fitness, boxing, creating content, starting that business idea, you know, you're never going to have a perfect, this is the day I'm going to do it. You can plan, you can, have the best plan in the world, but if it rains on your parade, can't plan the weather. And so I'm saying that to say today is Christmas night, and a lot of people want to wait until New Year's to start that new thing, their new idea, their new whatever, because they think this is going to be perfect. And I'm speaking from experience. Years have passed where I said, I'm going to get back into boxing this year. Boom, I have a big injury. I'm going to start this business idea this year. I lose my source of income. Or boom, anything. There's always an opposite on the other side that could happen. It's whether you use it as, something to push you through, to make good, or what we want to say, the perfect time, or we just wait. I'm saying New Year's is coming, and New Year's is coming, and my biggest thing I want to say is don't wait until New Year's to start. Start today. And for proof, I'm going to have this video, but this is a promise today, is the night of Christmas. It is just about to be midnight, and I will have this video up by December 26th, today, for you to watch for this. This is not a crazy video. This is more of like a, my first video back, and I've planned and I've had and filmed so many first video backs this year alone, let alone the last years of my content before. But I want to be living proof for anyone watching this that anyone is more than capable of doing it. You can watch me do it, then that should be enough for you right there. I just got my pre-workout put into that cup, by the way. Mentality. Like I said, this is like the start of everything for me. So I'm not the way I want to be at, but that's for another video for another time. But yeah, let's head over to the gym now. Let's go get a workout in. I got literally nothing planned. I just said I'm gonna record a video tonight, to be living proof. So let's do this. To be living proof of what I say I'm gonna do. Look, I used to think waiting for the perfect day was the right thing to be doing. Waiting is really your biggest trap, because I always thought the perfect day was going to come and it was going to make it way easier. But waiting just became a habit, and it's a bad habit. Procrastination is what ends up taking over. I'm barely being able to get into like real curling because the wrist recovery, surgery, and all that stuff. I'll update way more later about that different video. But like I was saying, I really thought waiting for the right day was gonna make the process easier. What really makes the process easier is actually getting the process itself started, because that's when you actually start getting your reps and your repetitions, not just the working out, but your repetitions of life, your repetitions of this new process. Because a lot of the time, it's something new, so you're trying to plan it out more to actually get it going. And so you're thinking positively, but the action itself of just waiting isn't going to do you any good, even though it comes with, it came from good intentions. Like, I have been waiting the longest time to actually start uploading content because I've been waiting for the perfect way to do it, or trying to plan it out more and actually acting less. I've been acting less but planning more. And that has kept me in this constant loop of, dopamine fulfillment. Oh, like I'm actually doing something, but you're really just planning in cycles over and over again. I didn't plan on filming today at all. Christmas, it's, holiday season. I've been relaxing. Trust me, I've been eating great in the worst way possible. Why would I go work out? Well, I've been eating like dog. I've been eating terribly. Sweets, fucking sugar ham, whatever you can think of in the book for Christmas time eating. But I'm like, you know what? It's not about having like a perfect setup to get into this. It's just about doing it and getting started and getting the ball rolling. Because once you, are out of your motivation phase, you're going to have what you think is a burnout, when in reality, you're not using the right source of, drive to get going. And so it's not the motivation, it's commitment. It's consistency. It's, just going, just pushing through. You may have not done it perfectly how you want to, but the point isn't doing it perfectly, it's doing it at all. So, a little bit of something, like what they say, a little bit of something is more than a whole lot of nothing, because now you at least have gotten somewhere. Better than zero. It could be 0.1%, but more than zero now. And from a 0.1, another 0.1, another 0.1, a lot of cents end up. Pennies add up to dollars. Dollars add up to tons of dollars. And tons of dollars is what creates wealth. And wealth, in this sense, doesn't have to be a monetary thing. Wealth is like abundance. That's a synonym for abundance. Abundance of progress. Now your goals, how much closer are you to them? So would you rather mess up a few times, have a bit of a rocky road, but still push through a bit and make some progress? Or think about, oh, this would be the perfect road to travel down, or this would be the perfect way to execute the plan, or this would be, and get nowhere, And so I'd like to circle back to say, creating a plan in itself isn't the issue here. It's the constant search of the perfect time to execute that plan, the perfect opportunity to get the plan going. The difference is waiting versus just execution. Waiting for the perfect time or just executing, go, 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 go. So it all comes down to it. It's about just getting the boat rowing versus just waiting at the dock. And so this is why this little setup is perfect. This workout's not perfect at all, but the perfection came from me doing it. The perfection came from me setting up this camera with no plan. I didn't have a plan for this. You don't need a plan. Plan is great, but execution is more important than the plan. Executing from no plan can help you actually create the plan. But setting up this camera today, no plan, no nothing. I said, today's Christmas. Why would I wait till New Year? Look, bro, trust. I promise I'm really not starting from perfect. I have ballooned up to 245 pounds. Keep it a buck with you. That's where I'm at. My goal is to get back down to 160, about that area, 170, 160. We'll figure out later. Like I said, it's not about thinking about getting there. It's about getting there. Trust me, I'm not starting from perfect. I've been down a few pounds now, like 10 some pounds. But this holiday season had me eating like a beast. A bad beast, bro. And so I'm telling you, that's where I'm starting from. You don't need to be, I didn't wait till I was eating perfect for a few weeks or a month or so, or down 30 pounds. Right? No, I'm starting from the deepest, from the lowest, and that's what's going to get the discipline to start, And so, it's not to talk bad on yourself, calling yourself, fat shit or fat, whatever, like if you're at that point, or like, oh, I'm so lazy, or I'm so, no, that's not, that's not going to be what gets you going. And if it does get you going for, a bit, it's only going to last that little bit. You need to, build up like positive reinforcement kind of style. And so telling, you want to become that person, I want to become a fit fighter. I want to be that boxer I was before, when I was training. And so, documenting from square one up into square infinity, that's the process for me. And that's my plan. Now it's executing time. I've been waiting so long on the sidelines to execute. I've killed my weight loss to this point, almost subconsciously because of that. I may be injured, I may have things going on with the family. I may have but now I definitely wasn't using this before to actually build on myself now. So that's where we're at with that. Trust me, I wasn't a weightlifter before this either. I'm learning as I'm going. I don't have perfect form. I know y'all be commenting, your form here, critique this there, I appreciate that. I'm using myself as an example to say, look where I'm starting at and look what I'm doing now. This is just the beginning, obviously, but you have to start somewhere. Go look at my upload schedule within these last few years. I've always been terrible at uploading content. And that's another thing. You should be attaching things to each other that can subconsciously grow together at the same time. Trust me, I'm not a good talker, obviously. You can tell from how I'm putting all this out. I'm looking just spewing it out. But stay with me here when I say attach things together that can grow together in like a cycle. I want to upload content consistently. I want to lose weight. I want to get in fighting shape. I want to keep track of myself. You see what I'm saying here? These can all attach to each other so they all build on top of each other together, They all tug at each other to keep accountability of themselves, to keep accountability of everything. They're like accountability partners together linking up, So now I almost have to do this because I'm putting myself out there for y'all to watch me, Unless I'm into embarrassing myself purposefully, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day for somebody else. That's not me though. So that's why I'm here, I haven't uploaded a video in how long? I have so much, we'll call it stage fright for this, since that's the easiest way to put it, I'm not scared of the camera like, oh my gosh, but I haven't spoken to this in a long time. So that's why I say, you just gotta lay it down and get to it. You just gotta lay it down, this is where I'm at, and just go. Execute. Don't overthink it and think yourself out of it. Or else you end up here, months down the line, No progress, no nothing, no proof, just ideas. The world doesn't reward intention, it rewards action. Like I've kind of iterated before, but now I'll reiterate. I do not have extensive experience in weight training whatsoever. Came from a boxing background. Boxing is the type of fitness that changed my life. Boxing is what gave me my OG discipline. Boxing is what gave me my OG motivation, OG, everything. I say OG because right now I'm obviously, not in shape. And so I want to get that back, obviously through fitness. That's what changed me before. That's why I'm back again. But I am not a gym bro. I'm not a, nothing more than maybe an above average gym goer. But to know about all my form, what, splits to do, what, anything that really has to do with the strength training, this isn't my forte. I like it now, I've grown to like it more. But to say like I'm a pro at this is, a far long shot because that's not where I'm at. So I reiterate that to say like this isn't planned, bro. I'm not filming something I'm like super comfortable about. I'm not recording saying like I won't say that I don't love doing this. This is a little boring to me, whatever. Coming from boxing and actually being in there and get into it, but I like this. But it's not something I'm relatively great at. Not something I'm like, guys, I'm a pro weightlifter. Let me show you guys how to do this. No, this is not what this is about. This is like me doing a talking head video, really, and like this new space, I thank God for what boxing has done to me, him giving me boxing, and the fruits from my labor that came from it. But like I said, I'd be lying saying I was a pro weightlifter, and that's okay. Being you don't have to be a pro to put yourself out there. Document the process of what you're doing to become a pro at whatever you want to be. And so with this, with this is like a stepping, platform to help me get back to what I was before, and to help me do more of what I wanted to before as well. When I boxed, I wasn't making content either crazy like that. I was too focused on boxing. When in reality, I was filling my head with that at the time, realizing now I know from that time period before, years ago, what to change to execute my plans better. See, like that, to the same principle of the mistakes I made then is my learning process now. That's why I say get out there and get to it, because I needed to hear that too. I'm hitting myself over the head saying this at the same time because I'm only talking to myself saying all these things too. But hopefully someone hears this at home and like, damn, I really do need to get to do what I want to do. Now here's another thing. Past my upload schedule being complete bun, I've never made a video like this in my life. Not just some like me like motivational content kind of thing. Like I've never made a video of me just talking to the camera before. So to dig deeper into layers of how, it doesn't matter, about having things super planned, it's about execution. Another example is this right here. I'm trying to become a living example of the words I say. This is coming from somebody who can probably relate to you. I can probably relate to you very well in a lot of senses. Maybe not the exact same ways, but like, dude, I'm inexperienced in this. I'm coming back from a long time. I'm out of shape. Today is Christmas. Well, not technically Christmas anymore right now, but like I said, I'll get the video up later today. But you get my point. You get what I'm saying. We are not too different. I can bet a lot that me and you are not too different. That's what I'm going to say, that I can do this, how my life is, I'm pretty sure you're capable to be doing this as well. Coming from a point of understanding when I say that, not judgment. Nothing about this video is judgment. This isn't a negative video whatsoever. Like I said, positive reinforcement, that's what you need to be building upon. Telling yourself the things you want to do and becoming the person who does those things. If you want to be an athlete, I need to do these things that an athlete does. If you want to be a content creator, I do the things that a content creator does. It's about becoming that person, not telling yourself you'll never be that person. Your brain can't tell when you're joking. Your brain can't tell if you're being serious. Your brain's gonna take everything at face value. I'm a fat fuck. Damn. That's what your brain's gonna stay. And that's what you're gonna keep repeating every single day. I'm never gonna make content. Content's too scary. That's what you're gonna live on every single day. So, I'm saying, I used to be a boxer. I'm going to become a boxer again. I'm going to become a content creator. I want to be a content creator. I need to do these things that a content creator is going to do. I want to be an athlete. I need to do these things an athlete's going to do. Want to be a business owner? I need to do the things a business owner does. And that takes learning, planning, and boom, execute. But the most important part is execution every single time. Because you can learn from your mistakes, like I've said already. So if somebody's watching this right now, take this and be like, damn, you're just like me. I need to get to it too. And our biggest point, do not wait till the perfect time. Do not wait until the new year. Do not wait until 2026. Start today. Start today. Start today so you can prepare yourself for 2026. So you go into it smoothly, hit the ground running, go, go, go. On Marisis, instead of January 1st, damn, what am I going to do today? No, start now. So when the year coming, you're already a different person already by the time January 1st hits. By the time, you got the New York timer, New York Square, whatever, Times Square on the television, you're like, damn, I'm already going into this year as a new person. And like I said, all this stuff I'm talking about right now is literally coming up at the top of my head. I told you, I don't have experience in doing this kind of content whatsoever. I don't feel like scripting this right now. Like, there's no point in scripting this. Like I said, I'm just going to throw my camera on, record, go work out, do what I'm doing, and just do it. You don't need to wait to get the perfect gear, to do the perfect thing. Everyone said that before, so I didn't really want to say it before. But, just to touch down on that real quick, you don't need the perfect gear, bro. Put up your phone, put on a book, boom, right there. Look at your phone, be like, okay, this is where the framing is right there. That's what, all right, let me sit in there real quick, sit in that little area. Put like a little lamp in the background, like coming from your side if you want good lighting. Boom, that's all you need, bro. You don't need nothing crazy. Download CapCut on your phone, on your computer, boom. Cut some clips together, start uploading. Boom. It's not that hard, It's just being intentional and doing it, You can't be scared of doing it. Shit, you can be scared of doing it. But the real thing is just putting it out there and doing it anyway, so you break the scared. So you break the worry, so you break the anxiety, easy. So, just set it up, boom, go. I tell you, I'm not good, I had no plans coming into this. I was like, damn, there's a few things I want to talk about. I hope it comes out good. Sure, I've stubbed on my word a few times, repeating myself a few times, but cool. Now I'm going to put this out there. Now I have something out there that I didn't before. That's the growth right there. When you see it, it's like, that's proof of growth. That's the 1% better. I didn't have a new video in the last year and however long. And now here we are, right? That's growth. Just doing it, just being intentional about it. Like, I'm going to do this. Say I'm going to do it, and then just do it. Be a man of your word. Be a woman of your word. Say I'm going to do it, then you're going to do it. Just keep it as simple as that. If that's your number one rule, you're going to get success. And so, without even I don't have crazy success right now. I have a little bit from my side business of filming for people, my, photography, videography, stuff like that. Cool. But, this is coming from someone that doesn't have the success yet, but I know that's the way. So I'm confident in saying this because I know that's going to get me there. That's going to grow me. I know that's the formula. Because to be honest, you need to be doing yourself these favors as if you were a separate person for your future self. because I know you're going to be in the future. Like I have been right now. I got so upset thinking about the last few years, how everything's been, how I haven't done the content I wanted to do, not becoming the boxer I want to be, because the things that are my fault, these are my fault. Now I group it all into things being my fault, so I take accountability and act on it as if it's all my fault, because that'll give me more ahead, more efficient. Take it all as like, all right, well, I need to work on it regardless, because whether you did or not, whether things are your fault or not, you still gotta get through it. So just take it all as your own, and that'll push you through. But back on what I was saying, you treat this like you're doing yourself a favor for later, future self. You're not gonna be looking back on, damn, I wish I would have started a year ago. I wish I would have started a few months ago. I could have had this success. I could have had this. Dude, screw all that. Nothing's gonna change where you're at right now except doing things right now. That's why I say just get to it, because you rather have something than absolutely nothing.